Hello, good morning. Hello, hello, good morning. Why do we all do that when we're going live? Like, check, check, testing, testing. Good morning and welcome to today's Breakfast Bravezone Club. Don't think there's going to be a club on there. Good morning. I hope you're okay today. I had it again where I felt like I didn't want to come on. And part of it was because of imposter syndrome. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We all suffer from it, don't we? It's horrible. It's like a feeling of an oily jacket just seeping over you, like an egg of bleh, yuck, horrible. And yesterday I did my live, and I set to work downloading everything and converting it so that I can put it onto my YouTube channel. Kind of the main purpose for that is because in my MIP circle there are several people who don't do social media or who very often take breaks from social media for health reasons. And I want to make sure that this is as accessible to people as possible. Do I feel conceited saying that? Yes, I absolutely do, because that's me saying that I think I'm so important and what I'm saying is so important that I should make it more available for other people. But do you know what? There's a lot of people out there who think that about themselves and talk lots of nonsense. Some of it's fantastic nonsense, some of it's awful nonsense. That's my personal opinion. And hopefully that means that there's people out there who think that what I'm talking is total nonsense, but some people who think it's really good nonsense. And from the feedback, and I keep coming back to this, but the feedback I've had has been really positive, and I need to keep that in mind. Because it's very, very easy to let the imposter jacket slip on and to focus on the things that maybe didn't quite go the way you wanted them to. So, for example, I have time blindness and I like talking. So yesterday's live was 20 minutes long. That's a really long live to expect people to sit through. And I didn't get as much interaction on it. Why? Maybe because everyone's busy. And 20 minutes is too long for people to sit down and watch. Maybe they've decided to save it and they'll come back for it later. Maybe they just weren't interested in the subject I was talking about. It was a little bit niche. Although, if you're listening to this one and you didn't listen to yesterday's one, skip towards the end, because there's a really, really good challenge that I think everybody should try and do. I might try and make that into a reel. And I'm going to introduce the self-commitment ring to the website at some point soon. I've got notifications that are like, hold on, we're telling more followers to join your video. I don't mind Instagram, it's fine. You can take your notifications down. So I got a bit imposter jackety yesterday, and this morning I woke up and I was like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to continue to put myself out there? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, I do want to continue to put myself out there, because I challenged myself to do this every day for a week. We're on Thursday, so I've only got Friday and Saturday to do, and then I've done 7 days straight. And if I can achieve that, I will be so freaking proud of myself. I really, really will be. Because this is so far into my brave zone that, it makes my heart flutter a bit. So, I'm going to talk about what I did this morning. So this morning, I woke up and I was like, I want to talk about, I had some thoughts about the idea of adjustability. I had some thoughts about talking about what I do in terms of managing my need for a dopamine hit first thing in the morning, and what I used to do and what I've replaced it with, and how much that's helped. And I'm not going to start talking about that. I want to talk about my intentional coffees in the morning. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I'm not going to. So this morning I was like, I need to just do some breathing. I need to do some gentle movement. So I picked up my Rainbow Fluorite, which this is my crystal of the year. So in Teresa Heath Waring's Dream Business Club, she got us to do a word of the year, and every year I do a crystal of the year. And it was so funny because I did the word of the year first, and the word of the year was flow, because the word flow just kept coming to me, and things like flowing in a river and flowing with this and blah blah blah, and the word just kept being like everywhere. You will have had this, the signs. And then when I did my divining for the crystal of the year, Rainbow Fluorite came up. I did a little bit more research into Rainbow Fluorite and kind of the origins of the words and all of that. And very, very interestingly, Rainbow Fluorite was originally called Fluorspar, and the word fleur is the ancient Greek word for flow. How funny is that? Two completely different things that I did that came together. And this baby has got, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you. Can you see that? Can you see that? It's the most beautiful rainbow. And actually, I've just realised it extends a bit further into the crystal. I never noticed that. And I worked with this crystal a lot. So anyway, I picked up my lovely Rainbow Fluorite, and I lay down in a half supine, I think it's called a half semi-supine, that's it. You lay it on the floor with your knees up, and just popped it on my forehead, because it's a balancing crystal as well. So because it's a rainbow, it interacts with all of your chakras. It's really good for balancing. And I just did some breathing. I did the 4-4-4-4-4-4 breathing, and I envisioned breathing in through here, through the third eye, and giving that space to allow me to decide what we're talking about. So, welcome to my TED's talk about Rainbow Fluorite. And then I just did a little bit of really, really gentle yoga. Really gentle. Probably not even yoga, I just made the moves up. I felt much better afterwards, which was really good. And now I'm here, and I did actually pick the microphone up, and I have come. So even if this is it, and I say ta-ta, bye-bye, I'm still going to be proud of myself, because I have come on, I have done a live, I have put myself out there, and I have said hello. You know? I am so yeah, today's subject is the imposter jacket. We all feel it. It is horrible, isn't it? When we feel that kind of oily jacket start to slip over us, and we start to get that negative self-talk of, who wants to listen to you anyway? Nobody watched the one that you did yesterday, so why would you go back on today? You know, I had all sorts of thoughts. I think I said something in yesterday's one that really stuck out to me, and I was like, oh, I think that might have come across in a way that I didn't mean it to come across in. And it was probably just me noticing it and not somebody else. So I really needed to spend a little bit of time and rationalise it. I needed to point out to myself the fact that somebody came on at the beginning and they stayed until the end. And then afterwards, they came back to the live and they put a comment on. Like, that's pretty cool. And they chatted with me through the live. They said in a nice voice, and it was soothing, which I find really bizarre, because I've grown up hating my voice, and that is part of the challenge for me with doing these things, is that I have to just get over it and not feel self-conscious about it. I also need to recognise the fact that somebody else, they watched it all the way through and they suffer from the same problems that I deal with in terms of rejection sensitive dysphoria, which is something that kind of triggered. Oh, thanks, Emma. I guess you hear your voice differently in your head than you do out loud. I've actually tried to force myself to listen to the lives that I've done previously a couple of times to start getting used to the sound of me talking, and just to kind of check myself and be like, is what you're saying making any sense? Some of it does, some of it doesn't. I go off on tangents. I get distracted very easily. I'm sorry, but that's just who I am. I can't help it. I can try and help it. I am working on it. But yeah, there was someone else. They came on. They watched it all the way through. They also suffer with ADHD. And we chatted about that. And he told me what colour he was going to spend the day looking for with the challenge. And we talked about... I found it very interesting because he is a breathwork healer. His name's Rob. He's Rob Urban Healer. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. But the colour that he finds most challenging is green. And green sits right in the middle of the light frequency spectrum, which means that it's the most comfortable colour for our eyes to see, which means that it is actually the most healing colour. So for some reason we have this perception that blue is a healing colour, and I think that comes from the fact that maybe like uniforms and stuff have been associated with healing, but actually green is the colours where it's at. So well, if you need a bit of healing, just like go and put your face in some grass. Like, I love the fact that my office is in a conservatory and I'm literally looking out on a beautiful, beautiful green and colourful garden. And funnily enough, the colour that's most prevalent there is pink, which is the colour that I struggle with the most. And that's the one that I use on my challenge. Yeah, so imposter syndrome. I'm not going to talk for too long today. Because I'm very self-conscious of the fact that these lives keep getting longer and longer, and eventually I will be here for 6 hours. Morning, Donna. You all right? You having your breakfast before taking the doggies out? Oof. I wish I had a doggy. So yeah, when you feel the imposter jacket, just take a breath. I picked up my crystal, but maybe pick up something that helps you kind of focus your mind a little. Bring your mind back into the centre and just be like, right, okay, this isn't real. This isn't a real thing. This isn't something that someone said to me. And if it is something that someone said to you, that's fine. That's their opinion. That's one person. But the thing that you do, you never know who you're going to reach. I mean, for example, yesterday's live. Last time I looked, I think it had 70 views. One of the people out of those 70 people might have really needed to hear what I was talking about yesterday, but they're a lurker and they don't engage. But they heard the message. I suppose another example is that I like smiling at strangers. I love smiling at strangers. When I moved down south and I lived in Brighton, and I used to smile at strangers, they would look at me like I was a psycho. So funny. But I would still continue to do it because I know the power of smiling at someone. If you smile at someone and they're at a really bad place, smiles are quite contagious, and you actually might make that person's day. So you never know what it is, who it is you're going to reach when you're putting something out there. And that's the reason why I've come back, because there might be somebody who is lurking, who is watching everything that I'm saying, and it's hitting home for them and it's helping them. And that is my main aim for all of this, is to help people, because that's what I'm good at. It feels very conceited to say, but if I look at the evidence, I'm good at helping people. That's what I do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Anyway, I'm going to clock off now. I have no idea how long I've been on here. Hopefully it's not more than 15 minutes. It could be 3 hours. I don't think it is. But I hope you have a truly wonderful day, and yeah, put your sparkle out there, and if you feel the imposter jacket, just tell it to. Okay, bye. Love you, bye.